slow, ugly, elderly, geriatric, outdated, slow. God, so ugly. Fugly. Not tough, not good off-road. And why do you look like that? This is the Kawasaki KLR 650 first gen. And still, despite looking like a bike made out of Temu Legos and designed by dementia patients, riders skip through fields of inner tubes, holding each other's soft, small, bad-smelling foreskins. No pants! All the KLR Stans wear the same dark gray AI-designed patriotic shirts with shoulder patches from special forces that don't exist. Or they wear desert gray t-shirts from Knock On. You see, after society fails, ammunition will eventually run out, so you're gonna need to know how to bow hunt. Arrows are reusable. 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 I'm gonna bust! And then out comes a sludge discharge. Slow and beige. Like Bisquick with no egg. It's my apocalypse bike. When the KLR debuted in 1987, Ronald Reagan was president. The third generation Toyota Supra was still running on the assisted living 7M engine in North America, and Keith Haring was still alive. And the KLR is still in production today in 2025, having gone through 3 generations, only getting fuel injection in 2022 for the third generation. And this is a first generation, which lasted for 20 years, from 1987 until 2008. This bike is from 2002, and it rides like a machine from 1982. So let's talk about the doohickey. Those with KLRs know what I'm talking about, and those who are unfamiliar with this bike, okay, this bike, the first generation, has a fatal flaw that must be repaired from the factory, which Kawasaki, while knowing about it, never fixed. The doohickey was a nickname for the chain adjustment component, but we're not talking about the drive chain. We're talking about the engine balancer chain, which compensates for engine vibrations because this is a one-lunger, which means it's a single-cylinder bike. They have a lot of vibration. The problem is that the stock internal springs are lousy. So when they inevitably fail, the balancer chain becomes loose, and a loose chain courts disaster like a bored 12-year-old at a corporate picnic. So even though it's there both as a counterbalancer and as a tensioner, the cheap springs prevent it from actually doing its job, which is why Kawasaki forums will tell you to replace the doohickey altogether with an aftermarket version that isn't made with materials on the same level of structural integrity as an older Rector set. So this is a dual sport motorcycle, which means it's supposed to be ridden on the street and on the trail, and it doesn't like doing either one of them. The owner, in Dan's experience, said theoretically it should be fine off-road because it has dirt-oriented tires, but it is a top-heavy bike. So this is really more about the aesthetic. Before throwing a leg over this bike, Dan says, if you go faster than 100 miles an hour, the thing's gonna shake. And I had no intention of going that fast because the bike doesn't like it up there. I've never ridden a KLR before this point, but I did own a Suzuki DR650, although these two bikes are very different. The DR was more aggressive, more trail-oriented. As much as I thought the DR was really for the street, it was really more for a trail. The KLR is soft, very soft. Now, the previous owner reupholstered this seat and put soft, almost like memory foam inside. So the seat was doing a lot of heavy lifting, but this is still a very, very soft ride. The suspension on a KLR, as I felt, was as soft as it was even softer than an adventure bike. This is more cruiser. I was surprised. It's not exactly light either. Dry weight is around 370 pounds, while the wet weight jumps up to 432 pounds. It has a fuel capacity of 6.1 gallons, and first gear is pretty sluggish, but it's one of those first gears that's too high for the dirt, but too low for the street. I mean, 432 pounds is not extremely heavy, but this is still about the same weight as your average standard street bike. Now, there's another modification that people do to KLRs. It's called the Thermo-Bob. And the more I learned about this, the more I thought of it as bro science. Now, it is a popular modification for KLR 650s. What it is an external thermostat with a cooling bypass. And the idea is that it's supposed to make this bike warm up faster and warm up more evenly by letting the coolant bypass the radiator when the bike is warming up. So you're not riding it, cold. The result is that the operating temperature at the top and the bottom of the cylinder increases, which leads to better fuel economy, longer engine life, less oil consumption. Why not just let the bike warm up a little bit before you start ripping on it? It's a carbureted bike. Let it sit and idle for like a minute. You're good. But this suspension, soft suspension, lots of travel. And the frame feels like it's made of licorice or Airheads candy left out in the sun. In corners, it feels like the frame is bending. I know it's not doing that, but okay. You know that one playground feature that was a wooden bridge made up of multiple square pieces of lumber loosely connected by either a steel chain or a braided steel cable? The wiggly bridge? What did you call this? And remember, you and all your best friends that you just met that day just jump up and down on the wiggly wooden bridge and everything. That's how this feels to ride. You're safely in control, but out of control at the same time. And when you're accelerating, it feels like a lawn tractor. Just peak torque is around 4,600 RPM. That's about 35 foot-pounds of torque. And power, you get like 36 horsepower at 6,100 RPM. Now that's a successful power curve. Nice and flat, but it's not exciting. So a KLR has two power modes. It has Unga Bunga, oh, I just love being logged. Clunk, 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 clunk. You can feel every power stroke, and you can feel that drive chain just slapping around on every single time. It's like an exhibitionist windmilling his cock and balls from the Benjamin Franklin Bridge. Whap, 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 whap. He has on a tri-corner hat and no shirt, no pants, thigh-high socks and Timbs. And he's just facing oncoming traffic. Everybody coming into Pennsylvania from Jersey. He's wearing a smile, born of pleasure, the depths of which you and I will never experience. Whap, 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 whap. Go Birds! Or a KLR, the second power mode of a KLR is, please stop revving me, please stop, just shift up, stop it, I'm gonna vomit my chain tensioner out. You, stop, do you like main timing, just, I'm about to go 180 degrees off if you don't shift up right now. I'm about to become marketplace scrap prices if you don't get out of second gear right now. My plastics are getting brittle. And yet, people love this bike because they think they're going to survive the apocalypse in it. It has this rugged tractor utilitarian type look that I don't like. I think it's silly because why would I want a dual sport that has a tiny little fairing in the front of it that's just gonna break if I drop it in the dirt or hit a tree going off road? And as the KLR went through its generation, this little fairing in the front got bigger and bigger and bigger. So, I mean, the modern one, the third generation, is essentially an adventure bike now, but it still has this hugga engine that people just like. It's like people who like the Iron Duke 4. Ugh. And we haven't even talked about the military version. Oh, people like to talk about the military version. Did you know that the U.S. Army has a version of the KLR650 that's
diesel? It's a diesel bike and you could join the army and ride a diesel motorcycle? Did I tell you it's diesel?
Yeah, it has a top speed of what, 35? Oh, but it goes 600 miles. Jerk me off. This is a silly, silly motorcycle. Did I enjoy riding it? Of course I did, because I like the hugga chugga chugga. But it's a one-note thing. It's like ska music without the horns. It's just upbeats every single time. It's a silly motorcycle. I'm done.